So, the latest update that we have got for this particular match, New Zealand versus Afghanistan at the MA Chidambaram Stadium or Chepauk. Afghanistan have won the toss and chosen to bowl.
And it's a pretty interesting call really, because on one hand, so far whatever World Cup matches have taken place in Chennai have been won by the side batting second. So Afghanistan have gone with convention. However, what we've heard initially, and again bear in mind that could change entirely once we actually see some action, is that the pitch is a little bit more on the sporting side. That doesn't mean that it's going to be a batting friendly paradise, but you will see bowlers get assistance if they get their lines and lengths right. But if you settle in as a batter, you could be in for some runs too.
Yep. Even Tom Latham, the skipper, stated that okay, we were not sure of what to do.
Exactly.
Because this is pitch number 5, strip number 5. Australia, India, that was pitch number 1. New Zealand, Bangladesh was pitch number 3.
If I'm not wrong.
Now this is pitch number 5.
But the one with odd numbers only.
Yeah, I think
what wrong with 2 and 4 do?
They'll start with odd and then finish with even.
Okay.
1, 3, 5, alternate 2, 4, 6. So that is the way this pitch might be. But the pitch experts reckoned it's a belter.
Absolutely.
Leg spinners could get a bit more bounce.
Which means if you're Afghanistan, you're suddenly looking, you have Mujib
and Rashid.
Can get a few wrong-uns there. Rashid, of course, the best wrist spinner they have. And we'll take a look at the playing 11s. Afghanistan, by the way, going with an unchanged playing 11, which should be no surprise to you. But quickly just go over it. There is, of course, Gurbaz, Ibrahim Zadran, the fearsome top 2. Then there's Rahmat Shah, skipper Hashmatullah Shahidi, Mohammad Nabi, Ikram Ali Khil, who played a match-winning 50 last time around, having come back into the squad. Azmatullah Omarzai, Rashid Khan. So in a way, that's a deep batting lineup, really. And now Mujib also has been termed by Shahidi as a almost all-rounder. To be fair, he did whack a few good runs in the last game, and of course Shahidi also rather amusingly pointed out that he needs to ensure he doesn't get hit wicket as many times, because it happened to him, I think, in 2 consecutive games.
Yes.
Then of course the bowlers, pure bowlers you're looking at, of course there's Naveen ul Haq and Fazal Haq Farooqi, of course, both of whom were phenomenally effective in Delhi, but could be getting a little different conditions in this particular crowd.
Yeah, I mean, see, they are now going to bowl in the heat of the afternoon in Chennai. So that's why maybe there might be a little bit of swing.
Yeah.
But towards the night time, you've seen some zip of this Chennai deck as well. So that's why maybe Afghanistan could have gone against convention. Maybe it's a new wicket. Perhaps it may get better to bat on. That's what they're thinking.
Maybe that's what they're thinking, is that, I think whatever juice you're getting out of it as far as the bowling team are concerned, that you'll get it only when you are bowling first. Because obviously heat bearing down, the pitch does tend to break up. If you get dew in the evening, we know that helps pitches settle down nicely. Maybe that's the thinking they're going with.
That is the reason. So that's why.
New Zealand, by the way, the only one change, which I'm surprised they didn't make more than one. I thought they'd be making at least 2 changes. One enforced in the sense that there is no Kane Williamson. In steps Will Young, and Tom Latham, of course, will be captaining the side. So quickly go over this side as well. You've got Conway and Rachin Ravindra, who will most likely be opening, although I think Will Young might slot in there as well. Then there's Will Young, Daryl Mitchell, Tom Latham at number 5, Glenn Phillips, Mark Chapman, Mitchell Santner, Matt Henry, Lockie Ferguson, and Trent Bolt. Now that is, of course, they've probably been one of the most complete all-round sides, I think, New Zealand so far in this tournament. Well, I'm a little bit surprised they didn't bring in Sodhi, but I don't know, maybe they thought it didn't need changing.
Yeah, I mean, he could have come in place of Mark Chapman maybe, because if you look at it, Phillips is an off-spinning all-rounder.
Exactly.
You've got Mitchell Santner, left-arm all-rounder.
Same with Rachin Ravindra.
Rachin Ravindra is also, but again, Ravindra better bat.
And of course, don't forget, if you want slower options, they do have Daryl Mitchell will bowl his cutters as well. He's a very useful option in that regard. But I think they do have enough slow bowlers.
They have enough dibbly-dobblies and spinners in that sense to ensure that they need not make their team composition changes that much. But yeah, Sodhi, I mean, why would you want to drop a guy who was in good form in the Bangladesh series? He picked up a 6-wicket haul and also impressed in the warm-up.
That's the thing with team combinations. Where do you fit him? You have 3 very good pacers, and truth be told, you could see any one of them really step out if and when Team Saudi gets fully fit. So that's the kind of options they have. They can actually, and legit, by the way, there's no guarantee that they can bring in either Sodhi or Saudi, unless there's an injury. That's how well settled the team looks.
I think they would want to go for the batting option. That's why they've got till number 8 if you have to look at it.
In Santner.
Yeah, Henry and Ferguson can tonk a bit along with Bolt. So they have, if you want proper battles, they have got till 8.
Which is Santner.
Yeah, so that's why getting in Sodhi, maybe if you have to drop Chapman, your batting probably ends at 7.
Exactly. You're compromising your batting depth a bit, and I think most teams barring maybe South Africa, are batting till 8. And South Africa, by the way, we saw yesterday, paid the price for that because they had that inevitable batting collapse. And then you knew, even when you had Klaasen and Miller, you knew it was a case of Netherlands somehow getting 1 or 2 wickets and the game really opening up, and that's exactly what happened.
And if you look at what happened in the 2 upsets that we have had in the 2023 World Cup, the team that batted first actually won.
Exactly. Netherlands, by the way, had no right to be winning when they were 80 out for 5.
And 7 for 140.
Exactly. From there to get to 245 on what was actually a difficult track to bat on, because I think the rain did change conditions around a bit. Full credit to them. Two upsets, and actually it's very much feeling like a season of upsets. Afghanistan caused one, now Netherlands, Afghanistan back in action again. In theory, on a ground that should actually favor their biggest strength, the spinners.
In theory, but then if it's a flat deck like what we saw, then I think their power is negated, because I think on flat decks, New Zealand will want to go at 300, 350, put them under scoreboard pressure. But again, scoreboard pressure will rely on if one of Afghanistan's dashers gets off to a great start, that is Rahmanullah Gurbaz.
Exactly. I think Gurbaz is that one batter who can really be an X factor for them, and he's shown in recent times in ODI cricket can actually bat long. He'll bat long, bat aggressive. In fact, I remember he got 2 150 plus scores this year itself in ODIs, one against Bangladesh and one against Pakistan. So he does have that ability. He's the key as far as their batting goes.
And in the game against England, scored that 80.
Yeah, that 80, he deserved really to be the first Afghanistan centurion at a World Cup. Unfortunately, he was run out by his own captain, if memory serves me, right?
Yes. So, Hashmatullah Shahidi, can his team cause yet another upset? Because
I mean, if you look at it, look at the upsets that have happened. They've happened to 2 teams you expected to be in the race for the top 4. England, who were defending world champions, lost. South Africa, everyone was talking about, oh, dark horses, this, that. Once again, they'll just, dare I say, reach into that closet, take out the C word once again.
C word. Yep, and remember, New Zealand, actually, if you look at all the other established nations, they have a good record against the associate nations. But remember,
they did lose
to the UAE. They lost to the UAE, and for the first time in 38 matches, it was 38-0. New Zealand and associate nations, including at that time also when Afghanistan are not yet
an associate nation.
38-0. But when they lost to the UAE, the streak was over.
And in fact, don't forget, even if you're looking at streaks as far as and New Zealand and Afghanistan don't really play much ODI cricket, 3-0 in favor of New Zealand.
But again, it was 3-0 in favor of South Africa also in that World Cup match against the Netherlands. The streak ended, and that is why now Afghanistan, again, if you actually look at it, when we interacted with those super fans, they say even we can also get to the top 4. I don't see why they are not far from the truth, because remember, if you beat them, your games are also against the Netherlands, also against Sri Lanka, and also you can, if you beat Pakistan,
you beat basically the 2 big wins you need are Pakistan and New Zealand, because you can potentially beat Netherlands, Sri Lanka. There's 4. And 5 they already have England. They could actually somehow be in with a shout.
They can.
And especially if, let's suppose, and I know this is all hypothetical, but we are seeing a bit of a trend that pitches are getting a little bit on the tired side as the tournament goes on. If it becomes more tired and they have a weapon like Noor Ahmed on the bench, who they can just look to bring in at any moment. Dear God.
And Pakistan, Afghanistan is in Chennai.
Chennai only, exactly.
And Netherlands, Afghanistan also. I mean, Netherlands, they will be high on confidence, but remember, Afghanistan have been an established test nation now for 6 years. If you
that feel like it, but it's true.
It's true. 6 years they have been there. So, Sri Lanka down on confidence, you would fancy Afghanistan to put one over them.
Exactly. Sri Lanka, in fact, have been having a terrible record in recent times because, again, it just doesn't seem like their, let's say, bowling is inspiring any confidence. We know the batting also, but even the lower order just getting you nothing. They're out of sorts right now.
And also, if South Africa, they tend to collapse against the smaller nations, Afghanistan's one contest is against them also.
Exactly.
So, if everything falls into place, like the Kudrat Ka Nizam situation.
You need Afghanistan's version of Kudrat Ka Nizam.
They are in with a shout for the top 4.
I mean, it's a long shot, and we're also admitting it's a very long shot, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, let's put it that way.
Yes.
Like, we were all thinking, maybe 5-6 teams, and you might still have 5-6 teams, but suddenly it's become very, very intense.
Very intense. And remember, we would have not even been debating this had both Netherlands and Afghanistan not pulled off upset wins.
Exactly. If it went, and as per convention, normally speaking in ODIs, I always say the longer the format, the better teams generally tend to win out. But you've seen two upsets happen, ODI cricket. Oh man!
I mean, in 2019 you didn't have any major upset.
But you didn't. In fact, what is the one difference though? 2019 were much truer conditions consistently.
Yeah. 15, okay,
No,
you may
not
say
at all.
Ireland beating West Indies again.
But that's about it. Otherwise, you had the big teams flat rolling the small ones.
11, you saw Ireland beat England. 11.
But that's it.
That's about it. 7, you had many upsets.
Yeah, you had India losing to Bangladesh.
Bangladesh beating South Africa
Didn't
2007
Ireland get one win that year
against
also?
Pakistan.
Pakistan, right?
Yeah, so that was 3. 2003, you saw Kenya beat Sri Lanka.
But Kenya at that point, I think, were very much like what Afghanistan are. They were actually on the rise.
So it can happen. I mean, if Kenya could do it with some results going their way,
Yeah.
if Afghanistan gets some results their way,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Kenya made it all the way.
Semi-final.
Yes, exactly.
against India,
Yeah.
where they lost. Australia faced Sri Lanka in that match. So, man, it can happen. And for New Zealand, remember, sometimes towards the fag end, they do tend to lose momentum. It's happened with them.
It's a
19,
trend.
15 was the only exception. But they lost that momentum in the final. So, and also 11 they peaked later. 7 also they peaked later but lost to Sri Lanka. So that's why this match is important. If they lose this, and remember they're facing India and Dharamshala, and if they lose that,
Then suddenly it's
Pressure.
alarm bells ringing, because then every game pretty much is a must win.
exactly. And with Australia beating Sri Lanka, it's a scramble now for the top. I think one is assured at this point in time. The rest of the 3 we are not sure.
Yeah, really, it's a bit of a free for all right
I think it's India and the rest at this point.
And you're trying to figure out really right now who the rest is. In fact, now every team has played 3 games.
Yeah.
And I think the table is looking drastically different to how we expected it to look.
Well, the 96 World Cup champions are at the bottom. Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
Sri Lanka are at the bottom, and this, despite the fact that, okay, they had 3 tough opponents to begin with.
Hey, let's be fair. That is true.
Yeah, they had South Africa, they had Pakistan, and they had, I mean, again, they had Australia, but still, you would expect them to do well, but no. I think this Sri Lanka team are facing tougher oppositions next.
Exactly. So
And it's not going to be easy. And remember, the games are only going to get much more intense from this point. Tomorrow it's India, Bangladesh. Day after tomorrow, it's going to be England versus South Africa in Mumbai.
I think that
that is, sorry, I'm mistaking it with Pakistan and Australia. Pakistan, Australia is in Bangalore.
Correct.
That's going to be important.
I think England, South Africa, when that match happens, that's also potentially, it could be a decider as to who makes the top 4.
I think you're going to see your first 400 on that wicket because it's
Where is
Mumbai.
it? It's Mumbai. Oh dear, yeah, you could very well see a 400 there.
With England and that pitch.
And that South African team also, yeah, they're batting. Top
Yeah.
6 is very, very fearsome.
Yes.
So,
can happen. So
happen.
that is the situation that we have.
any score predictions quickly? Very tough, this one.
Yeah. New Zealand 255. I think they are winning it.
I think they will get about 270. But I fancy an Afghanistan win. I don't know why.
Might not be surprising.
I could very well be wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see. So 255, 270. I have predicted a New Zealand win, although again I'm caught up in that heart and mind situation. Heart says New Zealand, but mind says Afghanistan.
For me, I don't know. I just get that feeling. I could be wrong. Afghanistan have a good bit of momentum going their
Yeah.
way, and that is something that's very key, especially if you have fixture pile up.
Yep.
And they do. They
That's
have
true.
they've not had much time really since that.
England win.
Exactly.
It was 2 days back.
It was 2 days back. We were in Afghan market.
Yes, Afghan market. Do check those videos out, and thank you so much, folks, for joining us. We'll be back for more updates from sports today. There is also build up to India versus
Don't
Bangladesh.
forget,
Also.
that's tomorrow.
The press conference will happen anytime now. We'll see who comes and what are the quotes in that. So join us for that, and also more news and updates from
Coming
me
your
and
way.
Shane
Plenty
and
coming your
Harshad.
way.
Yep, plenty
Now go.
coming. Tap that bell icon. Bye bye.